Hello, everyone. Today is 16th of December, 2022, and I'm continuing my series, Daily Reality with Apex. I hope you can hear me well and listen to everything that I'm going to share with you today. So I love the topic about reality, daily reality, and I love presenting before all of you everything that is important, according to me, for all of us to know when we are entering this understanding about what is beyond the scene. It is very important for all of us to know that once we open ourselves for more than what is seen by the five senses in the physical matter reality, we need to actually train ourselves and to know a lot of more than what we even thought that we need to know, and to really take life much more seriously than what we have taken life to be once we just decided to move forward. There are different stages and layers about life, and if you or I am willing just to go into the mindset game, but still stay in the physical matter reality, it is a very up to the surface level, where is more of the 90% of the personal development. And a lot of people are afraid to move forward into the deepness of life, and it is still okay. The important thing is that once someone decides to go into the deep, it is good, this type of person, to reconsider his idea about what life is and how are we to move forward, and how are we as human beings to perceive life and to understand the importance of everything that we are doing in the physical matter reality and in the non-physical matter reality. It is important because we as human beings are strongly positioned as border zone creatures, and we are affecting in the same time a lot of levels in reality. Personally, for me, it is very easy to move deep into the reality because I'm involved into spirituality from 17 years old, and I'm understanding, of course, a lot of my understanding has not been developed in the way it is developed right now, but I have awareness, perception, understanding about how deep and how much in conflict is the spiritual world. I remember when I was saved and believed that God actually exists, and it is something that is a force and a power that is involved into daily the human being's interaction in reality. The first thing actually I realized from this moment forward, that there is also a conflict, that it is not only existence of one divine being, there is not only one conscious being that exists outside of the human beings, but that there is so much more in the non-physical than what we perceive through our ignorance that it is out there. Of course, the first thing I realized that there is a conflict between the so-called labels of good and evil, but it doesn't matter how we perceive good and evil. The more important thing is that there is a conflict that is going on in the spiritual realm, and that human beings are created and involved to be part of the conflict. And even we can say that conflict is part of the reason why human beings are also in existence. Then it is a totally different game of how we are perceiving life. And I know a lot of the human beings are just thinking that we are here just to experience life, that we're here just to gather awareness, that it is a very separate game and that we are not involved into something much more bigger. And of course, I have received this awareness from the moment I was brought into the spirituality. From the first day, I realized that there is something much more going on all the time. And I was just 17 years old. Now I'm 48. So it's more than 31 years that I understand that there is so much more deepness going on than just what we the human beings perceive as personal development, as my own wishes, as my own desires. Everything is so many more levels, and it is so logical, because if you think about everything that human beings are wanting and willing long-term to have, all the human beings want love, they want peace, they want beautiful things. And what is this saying about reality? That actually in the objective reality, all the things that we are wanting and wishing long-term to be, actually in the moment, they're not manifested and they're not existing in the physical matter reality, in the sense that we are willing them to have experience of them, but it is not out there in the moment. It is very important, once we position ourselves, to know directly what we are involved in, and to know that there is a conflict, and consciously, subconsciously, or whenever or however we want to say it, it is not possible for us not to be involved. I know about this movement of oneness, and that everything is just an illusion, and that there is no conflict once you transcend a lot of levels. But of course, we can move into this direction as much as we want, but we need to know that there is so much delusion, and there are things that we are to accept as they are, instead of trying to fake them in our own imaginary, illusional and delusional way of thinking. And it takes a lot of time to gather and to collect and to be able, each one of us, for ourselves, to construct rightly reality in such a way that we understand what is happening, to understand why we need to choose side. Now, in the human experience, there is a lot of vortexes going on, and then in the non-physical matter reality, some of us think that there is no choice there. We don't need to choose side. There is no such thing as good and evil. There is no such thing as heaven and hell. There are not such things as strong strategical choices that we are to make long-term, because if there are, then we are going to take sides, and then we are becoming part of a conflict that is going from quite long into the non-physical matter reality. And this type of conflict is expressed also in the physical matter reality. Of course, because reality is always work in progress, the long-term direction of everything is peace. The long-term direction of everything is wholeness, but it is going to be wholeness under order, and everything is going to be placed in its own specific positioning based on the way every being was performing during its conscious experience. It is, of course, very hard for us, the human beings, to comprehend that we are the one that during our conscious experience here on this planet are to choose sides. And we don't want to be involved. We don't want a reality, and we are not willing to accept the reality as it is, but we are willing to create in any different way, different type of reality, and we can live in our own imaginations and can convince ourselves to whatever extent we want that there is a different thing out there. But if we are honest enough with ourselves, we cannot ignore that there is a conflict. And of course, this is how we've been conditioned from the moment we are brought into the experience about these conflicts. And of course, long term, there are different ways for us to convince ourselves about these conflicts. And this is a very small part of what I was willing to express today. And basically, I just wanted for all of us to understand that once we deep dive into the reality, there are so much more things that are out there than just the normal perceptions that we have. And there is so much more to be explored, but we need to know the fundamentals. Once we open ourselves to the invisible world, we need to understand that there are things that are much more than what we as human beings are perceiving. So I'm going to stop now at this live because I'm going to have now another topic that I'm going to work with one more person about another topic that is daily reality with Alex, where we are going to discuss other things. Thank you.